Okay. Shots, excuse me. I'm kind of crying. Wow. What grief lines. I don't really on that eye, though. That's cool. I don't know what that means. I'll have to look it up. We tend to... Oh, I got a face mask on because, I gotta make a new tooth. And I don't feel like it right now. I gotta go at 5 o'clock in the morning and head to Prescott for a blood, or not a blood, but an iron infusion. So, yay! No, actually, I'm sure it's not gonna be bad. Like, I've been doing a lot of healing, and of course, to heal your body, you have to release trauma that's trapped in your body. Okay. And so, like, people who know me know that I've obviously, like, I had put on some weight. When a woman or a man or person, period, puts on weight is because they have, like, trapped feelings of being small, insignificant, unheard, betrayed, or something of that nature. A lot of times it'll be sexual trauma, which I got some of that in my past too, obviously, whenever I come home from Iraq. Now, releasing that, there's multiple different ways to do it. I'm still learning that right now. Okay, that's been one of my things that I've been trying to come up with a better, quicker way to be able to release trauma and that kind of stuff. And I know that there's hypnotherapy, there's frequencies and all that stuff, and then I've done some Ho'oponopono, or whatever it's called, the forgive me, I'm sorry, I love you, thank you method, because I can remember that one really easy. I just started doing this, and I'm going to share with you that that apparently is working pretty good. I didn't think that it was working good earlier today, and I'll explain that in a minute. But and then, of course, going out to Slaughterhouse Canyon, and just out in the desert there, and talking to the God law, the universe, the all source, the infinite intelligence. Because I don't ever just look down, like, at the earth, you know what I mean? Like, every night I look up at the stars. I do this is like almost like a religious thing for me. It's not something that I have to make myself do. It's not something I have to remind myself to do. I just do it because I just like to. And nature, and the universe, the infinite intelligence, the infinite and smart plasma entities, whatever, are they listen really well. So, like, for instance, we have feelings, and then we've got to let them pass. Like, suppressing feelings is a no-go. That's bad. That's how they get trapped in your body. And so that's a really big misconception when it comes to spirituality. And even I forget that, like I did today, which I'll get in a minute again. But so one of the things that I do is I pretty much go out there, and then I have like the what for with with the big boulders out there and whatnot. And I'm like, hey, I want to learn more. What's going on? I feel like I'm like, I've learned all this and now I'm starting to like feel kind of stagnant. And, I still have this, these issues, this possible hernia, or whatever's going on there, the swelling and the anemia, the two different kinds of anemia, the liver, damage or whatever that it's causing with the no iron. So the iron tomorrow, that's gonna be like, I guess I go for antibiotics for an hour, and then they start the infusion. I thought it was called a transfusion, but it's not a transfusion; it's an infusion. And so then I guess that takes like 3 hours or whatever. So I'm hoping that like feels so good that I have enough oxygen to breathe. Because that's why like you'll hear me kind of like like breathing hard or whatever, or you know what I mean. It's because I really can't. I guess I can't breathe. I mean, I'm breathing, but like the oxygen amount that I'm getting isn't that good. And because it was that way for so long, which is my own fault. Like I used to be super, super healthy, and then I suppressed, and the last 10 years really, like I suppressed and I suppressed and I suppressed, and I just kept going and going and going, and beat up my body and neglected it, and so, and I still stayed like, I thought pretty healthy, or at least weight wise, I was good up until I got to Prescott, and then I think like once I got out of Missouri, then that's when those emotions were allowed to surface, because a lot of times the trauma, while you're in the trauma or stuff, you don't have time. Ain't nobody got time for that. You got to wait until afterwards before you can deal with it. And apparently I'd held on to a lot more than what I thought. And it probably not even as much as I've neglected to listen to my body. And so since I made that body-mind connection, or I mean, I don't even know how deep that goes. I'm sure it goes way deep, and I'm probably just now scratching the surface of it, which is fine with me because I love to learn and all that kind of stuff. But, it's like, hey, Misty, this is what you've done. Because regardless of whatever reasons that we have for the things that we do, they do not go without consequence. The law of cause and effect is still in effect, right? But that doesn't mean that that it has to stay that way. So before we get to that, okay, yeah. So anyway, to help do this, connection and whatnot, I go out and I pretty much give the rocks and the land and the canyon, my what for, and then I'll look up at the sky at night and look at all the stars and look for spaceships because it's just cool, just because it's fun. I've only seen me and my mom seen the triangle one before. I've seen a few, like, I didn't see a spaceship while I was here, but what I have seen was it was daylight, and I was going for a walk, and like there was this big light, and I thought maybe it was like a hover around, like a drone, and but it wasn't, and then just like it was. The light was there, and it would move, and it was coming towards me, and then it would like go away, and then it'd go farther, and then it just went up into the clouds, or up towards where it got lighter, I guess, and in the clouds, and then disappeared because is the further it's getting away, the dimmer the light. But so So I give I give like, I don't know. I just think the stars are pretty and I like the moon and it just makes me feel better. I don't really know how to explain that one. And then I'm always like, hey, if you guys are up there, you guys go see all these other cool people and like, would you come hang out with me? I don't know, say hello to me or something. Which, of course, and I know that all that stuff is like within me or whatever. I don't know. Spirituality is such a intense, confusing thing. Not confusing. Well, it's confusing to stimulate growth. Not confusing is like give up on it, that kind of thing. It's not like that. It's believe me, I love learning about myself and growing and all that kind of stuff. So with the universe listening and all that kind of stuff, so I went out yesterday, and yesterday the day, yeah, it might have been yesterday. I don't know, yesterday the day before, but I wanted, like, I left my walking sticks in Missouri, right, and so I really, really wanted one, and I was like, man, there's not even really trees out there, you know what I mean? It's a desert, like, there are bushes and stuff. There's not going to be, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a stick. I mean, I'm sure it's a possibility I could. I mean, and I probably would, but it would just be very unlikely, right? This is what I was thinking. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. And sure as shit, the other day or yesterday, whenever I went out there, I'm walking on the path, and like, there was never any trees on that part of the path at all, especially, on the sides. I mean, it's all bushes and stuff, right? Well, something like cut, it's like two trees, one on each side of the dirt path, right? One here and one here. And they, it was like a tree that had all the greenery was gone off the tree. So there was, or bush, or, well, it had been a tree, because I mean, these were pretty long. These were like long branches, right? And oh yeah, that's my really cool lamp. So yeah, all the greenery was gone on it, and there was one on each side, and it wasn't it was cut. It was like you could see where something had cut it on one piece of the wood, on the branch or whatever the hell, and then the others were like broken, but they were cut up in piles, a pile on each side, and just out in the middle of nowhere. And I got two. I had a lot of walking sticks to choose from, like, seriously. So I picked out two, so I have two walking sticks now. I've got one with a bunch of cool stubs, and then I got one that's really curvy. Yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting. And then, so I thought that was really nice. I mean, like where did that come from? Where did it happen? I mean, it's not like there was no trees out there. I've been walking out there for months or 2 months or however long I've been here. No trees out there, and I walk out there almost every day. So, what's the likelihood of two piles of wood two piles of wood that looks as if a tree has been cut and then broke and then piled up? I don't mean like scattered everywhere. I mean, like, literally, like, piled up in a pile. Like, I'm walking along and I'm like, oh, cause you can't have and miss it, right? And there's some smaller branches and stuff that went across the path. You know what? It was almost like, I guess it could be one. It was like one tree, and then it was cut up and broken up. And then when it's broken up, it was like broken up in the same walking stick size pieces. So yeah, pretty wild. So I'm like, oh, thank you, because I really wanted one. So I took my sticks and took my walking sticks and my staffs and I walked around out there and I took my shoes off and stuff, which is probably pretty dangerous, but whatever. So that's that. So anyway, with me asking, I get answered, right? So like the walking sticks, I had an incident today, so I think I've probably danced around it for 15 minutes now. It looks like. Okay. So I learned a lesson today, and I guess feeling with letting go of feelings. I guess I forgot that whenever you deal with them, like being spirituality is not like, and learning about yourself is not sunshine and rainbows, right? We're not playing with unicorns. They're not shitting out Skittles. You know, oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh no. Whew. God. Okay. Jeez Louise. Yeah. So you still have feelers. I don't really know how to let them flow through me all the way yet, but I'm learning, and I did really good today. After the fact, like when you go to release stuff, and it comes up, you still feel it. I forgot that. Yeah. So, yeah. And then I got angry because I had the feelings, and then I had a physical reaction. You know what I mean? Like my body, and because like it wasn't horrible, you know, per se, but I definitely, my communication skills went down. So like I was texting my mom, and then I come off, I'm a horrible texter anyway, and this happens all the time. And the only one that ever, I'm gonna have to give a shout out to Teresa Pence, for real. Is a friend of mine in Missouri. Hey girl, she knows that I suck. Her and her brother Larry too. Hey Larry, and Shirley, love you guys. They know that I really suck at text, right? So I don't know how they gauge it, but I'm just gonna take a wild guess and be like, if it's more than like a few lines or a few words, then I think they just don't read it. Like they just don't read it. because when I get upset, I'm like I'm not, and I'm trying to, you know, tell my friends about whatever's going on or whatever, whoever, get it off my chest. I don't have any textual grammar. The more upset I am, the worse I spell. I type really fast with my little fingers, big fingers. And so, yeah, autocorrect just really goes crazy, and I come off sounding like a real douchebag. Honestly, I sound like an asshole. I don't say things completely wrong. I'll be like, I'm not yelling at them. I'm like kind of yelling to them, and then it gets like, yeah, if you read it, text messages are bad anyway, because you don't have that physical, you don't have body language and stuff like that, right? And so when you have slang, and then like you're like me, a little eccentric, or maybe a lot eccentric, and I will be talking about one thing, and then a transition. Let me flower this up, okay? I'm gonna transition. I transition quickly. So people are like, what the F is this chick talking about? So, yeah, they get pretty mad. So they just get to where they just don't even read them. So, and I love that. And then that's, but if you don't know me, and mom still gets, she was trying to read it, and of course, I come off all the wrong way. And mom's like, you know, what? And I'm like, no. And I'm just like, and then of course when she said, when she took it wrong, I took it wrong, and then it just went from there. And so don't ever conversate stuff in written form. Miss D, I'm saying this to myself, Miss D, just stop. Just give it up. Let it go. Because I do more harm than I do good. Believe me, that is probably why Mr. Sexy Soul Dory thinks I'm a psychopath. Because, yeah, but a person has to have someone to say stuff to, right? Or to bounce stuff off of, and for me, actually, it's just so much better sometimes when there's no one there to take it wrong. Because then you upset people, and then I get upset because I upset the people, and then I'm not trying to upset them, and then it just becomes like this thing. And so I really gotta work on that. But it wasn't super bad. So, and then I was able to, like, I went outside and I smoked a cigarette. Yes, I know, I haven't stopped yet. It's the last thing on my list right now. So, yeah, and I came back and I was able to hopefully annotate, if she's even read the apology. It's not been really apologies, but like trying to explain. I don't know. Oh, that's what I was going for. Okay, so here's the other mistake that I made today, that I learned from, because believe me, just because you're spiritual, or just because you're wise, or just because you can manifest good or fast or whatever, does not mean that you're above reproach. And that's something I think we all forget, and that the media capitalizes on, is the what do they call that fluffy puffy poof poof, I don't know, pew, 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 pew. I don't know what the hell you call it, the BS. Yeah, and it's a trap, and it's no good, because that's not the case. So this right here really, I think, is a good example of what the nuts and bolts, or the meat and taters of oh, I thought it was that I turned on the tea and left it on. I didn't, though. That was the lid to, okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's about when you make an ass out of yourself. Okay. You reflect. Because you can gauge your response of other people, right? So, I obviously had offended my mom, or made her feel uncomfortable. No, that's probably not good. Okay, there's no boogies in that, so we're good. And I didn't wipe a boogie on the screen the last video for my son either. I was going to put that on there. It looked like I did, but I really just scratched my nose, and then there was something actually on the thing. So I was getting off. But, so the meats and potatoes of it is whenever you make a complete ass out of yourself, you reflect, you look back on the conversation and the situation, and you see, you just do a little AAR with yourself, a little what you done bad, what you done good, and how to improve it. Like what can we do to make it better? that kind of thing. So really that is what it means to do this work, to what do they call it, to do the great work. That's what it means. And so what I had done was I made a comment to my mom. She was making a sorry. She just made a suggestion on why, or a reason that something that I was questioning could be, if that was even a thing at all. But really, it wasn't even questioning the situation or the actions of others. What it was really about was me realizing and seeing that I had a belief that was really, really deep. And it was a very, very deep belief of betrayal, or feeling of betrayal. The emotion, belief, is all really kind of the same thing. So I had this deep emotion of betrayal that I didn't even know that I had. And so I was talking to my mom, and I was like talking my way into figuring out what this was, and doing that on text message was totally retarded. But, well, actually it wasn't, I guess. In a sense, yeah, probably not a good idea. For me, it just so happened to work out because I learned from that too. So, because in talking and, and trying to like be like, no, that's not what I meant, not cover my ass, but explain myself, I guess. I was figuring out myself what it was that I actually meant on a deeper, level, not on a surface. And so I realized, I was like, and whenever that I had this belief, then I guess she took it like something I had said she had took wrong, and then so she didn't even say nothing really bad, but yeah. Oh yeah. Well, she just said she made the comment like she was explaining that she had already heard it or read it before. I mean, she already knew the effects of the psychological effects on the parents and children who are kidnapped, right? Or by parental kidnapping, and so, and that's all she was saying, because I took a bunch of snapshots and I blew that up, and then I was like, okay, that's probably a little much, Misty. Why don't you just send the link to the site and have her read it that way, instead of because I don't know, I was upset, you know what I mean? So I wasn't thinking, because whenever I was looking at it and reading it, the more upset that I got, you know what I mean? So then I've got like tears in my eyes, and then I'm like, snapshot, like see, and she's like, what the, and then so whenever she said that, I was like, you don't, yeah, I mean, I didn't say that to her, but, of course, automatically I'm like, why can't you, does nobody else care? And then I'm like, that's not even, I mean, I didn't say that to her, but that's actually what I was thinking in my head. I was like, well, don't you care? Don't you, let me, and that was really, really stupid, and I thought about it. I was like, Mr. Well, that's really dumb. That's like, that's pretty low level vibration right there. Like, why what that's not what's going on. Like, that's a cover up. What's really underneath this? And then I realized, because since she's my mom, what I was truly looking for was was someone outside of me to make me feel better. And even if it's just wanting to okay, so like, I don't know. I expected I expected or wanted, I guess it was still another hidden belief that I had that come up with that too. That I thought that my mom should be able to say these magic words and make it all okay, and she can't. And that kind of expectation is so unfair, you know. And I know that consciously. And then so whenever it had happened, like when it happened, and it happened so automatically, or automatically with that particular trauma in my life, I was so used to covering stuff that, or and we all do, that we bury it so much that it's so far down deep in there that we don't even know it's there. And so, you know, I was like, man, that was like, what that was a excuse me, I don't know what that is, a reaction and not a response, right? Which is not at all the level that I'm normally on, you know. And I'm like, what the hell? So then I got angry about that, not at her, but at me. And then I'm like, why am I looking outside of myself? And I'm like, do I really do that? Because I'm like, I've come so far, right? Like, I've learned so much and all this stuff. Like, why did I just, like, you know, at my super young age, be like, think that mommy needs to kiss it and make it better, you know, just because, she should know automatically how I feel and what I want without even telling her. And that's fucking stupid. That is really fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, and we've all done it. You know what I mean? Like, we'll be in a relationship, and we get so used to, because we're trained, I guess, you know, to hide our feelings and, you know, keep your mouth shut and suck it up and drink water, you know, walk it off. Now, walk it off is really a good one. That one actually works. Water, you do not drink water like when you're in a bad mood. You want to love that water, because water can be programmed, so you could jack yourself there. So you do a little Reiki on your water before you drink that stuff, if you're upset. By the way, that's just my theory. Okay. And then I'm like, so where is this coming from? Am I doing this? And if I'm doing it here, I've got to be doing it in other places too. So where is that going on at? And then I'm like, okay, well, I watch Mr. Kyle Michael Dory's videos, right? And obviously I still get something new from them. Every time I watch them. Well, not every time I watch them now, because I've gotten so many. Obviously, it's been like a few years now, so he's only got so many videos. But you know, it's not like the whole thing is different, but little pieces, or the feeling that I get, right? But I can't lie, you know, anymore now. I really watch them because they're comforting, right? And I enjoy them, and he just simply makes me smile. So I'm like, is that still considered expecting someone else to make me feel better? You know, and now that we're talking about it, and now that I brought that up, that brings up another thing now. So everyone outside of me is actually from within me, right? So, and to love me is where it gets complicated. To love me, you cannot have expectations on anyone else, right? You can't have expectations, and you don't do things for people expecting something in return either, right? So you have to love yourself and respect yourself in the connection that we have with other humans or people or entities or ETs or whatever, because there is a piece of us in them, and there is a piece, if anything, if you don't want to believe that, fine, but you cannot deny that there is a piece of the source in everything and every being. So if you are to respect and love yourself, you have to love that part of you too, because the source is within us, and so it is within everything else. And if you don't love and respect others, then you can't, sure as hell can't love and respect yourself, vice versa. So but we are also, and here's the big part for me, I guess we're not meant to go through this life alone. Obviously, because we need to learn by bouncing off other people, reflection, right? So, like my relationship with my mother and that conversation we had, that needed to happen so that I could see myself. And oh my God, Lulu told me this stuff this morning. Holy moly, she was right. Okay, yeah, so here we go. Yes, House of Oshun, Miss Lulu. It was on her That's What They Said videos today. And that's what they said. So they were right. Thank you. Yeah, she said I would be an ass and that I would have to realize that. So yeah, and I have problems dealing with or I have had problems in the past. I'm learning to deal with issues of intimacy, and intimacy not in the sexual way, but I have that too. With being vulnerable and open to experiencing, because experiencing requires good stuff and bad stuff, and so yes, we need people for that. And that's why I got family, I guess, and friends or whatever. Okay, where was I going with this? That opened up a whole can of worms right there. This is a very informative video for you guys, for son, boys, and all this stuff. Yeah, for you kids. And we're probably gonna run into some more, because we ain't even got, I'm only 2 kids down right now. I've got twins too, Caleb and Cameron, and I got some stuff I like to say to them. I love you guys. It's my birthday. Okay, so Antonio's birthday is the 18th of June, and then my birthday is the 2nd of July, And then my twins' is the 3rd of July, and then my mother's is the 4th of July. So, yeah. Wow. Okay. So I might be an emotional wreck for a minute. I don't know. No, actually, this is a really good turnaround, actually, for understanding what's going on. So, I don't know, we're 40 minutes into this. I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. The point, I was gonna tell you, one of the things that was helping me. So the point is that when you make an ass out of yourself, because you will, guys, don't be so hard on yourself. Take a look at the situation. Take something good from it. So, like, I'm growing, obviously, from this. I know that I definitely need to not have important conversations on text message or in writing form, because I suck, and it's too easy to, it's way too easy for me to make an ass out of myself, or for people to make asses out of themselves. So when it happens, take a look at it, and think, now, what do you do when you're in the moment and you're like, or wanting to cry? Because when you're going to let go of emotions, they got to come to the surface for you to let them go. I was, as a matter of fact, I think I wrote Kyle about this. He doesn't answer me either. He's smart, like, he's really, really smart, like, like Teresa and Larry and Shirley. They just don't answer. And it works for me, because then I don't have to feel so bad, but I got it off my chest, you know what I mean? Like, I got it out. So, yeah. And then that's really kind of what I use Kyle for. Well, that's what I started doing that a while back, and I think he probably read, like, I don't know, maybe a few enough to be like, nah, I'm not listening to this chick anymore. She's crazy. But I'm not crazy. But he was really like a wow. I have like this profound connection with this man I've never even met. So it's awesome. It works for me because I obviously have commitment issues, right? Right. Oh gosh. So I was like a phantom writer, right? So I just like get all this stuff out and be like, don't write me back. Like thinking like I don't actually want to meet you. And then years, as it goes on, and I'm like, I do want to meet him. And I'm like, well, you probably don't really want to meet you now, So yeah, you got to get stuff out, but it's going to come to the surface, and it's not going to feel good. And what you do whenever you do that, or what I've been doing, something you can try. First thing I did I jumped down on the floor and I started doing push-ups. Well, whenever you haven't done that in like forever, I got like 3, okay? I'm sure they look like crap. You know what I mean? Like, I probably didn't do like one real push-up, you know what I'm saying? I was probably like all wobbly or whatever. And I was like, God, this sucks. I'm so out of shape. Yeah. So do like a physical exercise to get that, walk it off. Anyway. And then I've been doing this. So there are things called mantras. I personally do not do other people's mantras anymore. I started doing that. It wasn't really doing anything for me. The reason I don't do that is because I don't know what it is that I'm feeding, right? Because everything is energy, and everything. It's basically, that's what we feed off of. Even us, even human beings feed off energy. So we're all energy vampires, okay? But you've got to be able to give energy too. And if you just take, then, eventually, Source is going to be like, well, let's just dissolve you into something else. So I don't really know what, but there's laws, universal laws, and cause and effect, and karma, and all that kind of stuff. So, and then it shows in the quality of your life, your manifestation. So, anyway, here we are. So I don't suggest doing other people's mantras. So I make up my own mantras, and you do that with your intention. Is this called magic, all that kind of stuff? Yes, it is. You can call it magic, you can call it sorcery, you can call it energy work, you can call it, I don't care what you call it. Jesus even has mantras. The Bible has mantras. You say a prayer, that's a mantra, honey. A mantra is a mantra means man. The mon it means man. The ta is tool, divine tool. Okay, so you set an intention, and then there's hand mantras. So this is what I've done to connect. So like this for me, I made up on my left hand, or my right hand, doesn't matter, but I do it with my left. Divine. So you don't have to use mine, or you can, it doesn't really matter. Because this isn't feeding anything. This is just, it feeds something. It'll feed the it does feed it, because it makes it work. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to check that out. But divine body, spirit. Yeah, divine body, spirit, mind, connect. Okay, that's what I do. That is also, this right here is also like the Silva mind control 3-finger technique or whatever. And then kind of like the one that I mentioned before, which is also a actual scientific way to restart your brain. Like you right here, where your nail bed is, if you squeeze on both sides, like I'm holding up the phone with the one hand so I can't. So if you like, you squeeze both sides and hold pressure there for a few seconds or whatever, then it reboots your brain. Or you can take your thumb and feel in the back of your head, right, and go down, and where the indent is, where your skull goes to your neck, and you feel that hollow spot, and stick your thumb in there. You can push for a few seconds, and then it restarts it, they say. So it's kind of the same concept. And so if I wanted to get rid of a negative thought, then I was doing this, right? All right, I'd do it like that. I was doing dishes, so that thumbnail almost looks like yellow a little bit. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's just lighting. Maybe if you don't, I don't know. Anyway, but so I wanted to move past just the getting rid of the negative thought and start replacing it with the better stuff. So because for me, divine body, spirit, and mind it represents wholeness, and represents connection and balance. And with connection and balance with the Trinity, how can you really go wrong, right? That represents me being in my divine self, my higher self, the self that I want to, the self that I'm becoming. So this is what I do, and anybody can feel free to use it, or you can make up whatever else you want to. You know what I mean? Be like, thought be gone or something. You know what I mean? Like just whatever works for you. Like cancel, or cancel, accept, or do it like a VCR or some stuff. Like pause, play and stop and record and all that kind of stuff. lot of people too, I think they do, like I've heard of, and this was really cool too, and I thought about this, but I just can't find anybody that'll do tattoos for free. I don't like to pay money for stuff. So, yeah, weird like that. But you can do like a tattoo, right? And yeah, that's my 51, and then I got 50 on the other side. That's to remind me of someone and lessons learned and triumph and overcoming. So that means something different to me, even though it means criminally insane to most people. It means something different to me, but anyway. So tattoo, you can do tattoo like the actual, like the pause, you know, like the square button for stop, and then the 2 lines like for pause, and then the side triangle, you know, for play or whatever. Or and then the whatever, I can't remember the record button, was it like a dot and a thingy? And then so people do that, you know, too. So it's just really whatever you can create, whatever it was or whatever it is that works for you, and it works. Obviously, you know, it worked pretty good. Like, yeah. So, divine body. Okay, divine body, spirit, mind, and connect. So, but yeah. So that's that. Oh, and I love you, Mom. Thank you. I'm sorry I used you. I'm not sorry, actually. Hopefully, I hope you don't mind that I used you as an example. Which is also kind of like an apology too. I love you. I love you. I love you like a. That's probably not a good way to say. Okay. I just like saying higher than a hippie, or yeah, higher than a hippie in a helicopter for some reason. That just wants to come to my mind. I'm happier than than a high hippie in a helicopter, or higher than a hippie in a helicopter. I'm not high, but you know what I mean. It's like an equivalent anyway. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so yes, this also reminds me. There's 2 more things that I wanted to tell you. Mom, I had a dream last night. So weird. I don't know. Okay, so Les went to the bathroom at my grandma's house, who's dead. Dad's mom, right? And my friend, a friend of mine that I know, that I haven't even seen in forever, and I've actually dreamt about him several different times in the last year, which is really weird. Like, I've dreamed of Jesso a few different times, and then Christy, she was talking about, because she was saying Big Booty Judy. Well, his ex-wife, I don't know if they were married. They're pretty much married. They've got some kids together. They've been together for like a long time, you know, and I was friends with both of them. Love Judy to death. She's super nice, and she's really, really pretty, and she's got she's got a big butt. Well, not a big butt, but she's got a nice butt. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a chick, and she's got a nice butt, so we'd call her Big Booty Judy. So she's got a good butt. Not even a butt person, but yeah. And so Christy said that, and I was like, that is so crazy, because I was dreaming about her ex-husband, because I think they're divorced now or something, but I dreamed about Jesso, and he was there, and Les was there for some reason. So Les goes to the bathroom, and then Jess was like, something's not right, because we can hear him talking on the phone, but it wasn't coming from the bathroom, right? So he's like, come on, let's look. And I was like, okay. So we went and looked, and we found Les. He like took the wood off the floor and was like in the space underneath by the toilet in the bathroom, like talking to someone secretly on the phone. Like he pulling some shady shit, right? And so, while this is going on, I don't know what happened, but because it kind of skipped around, right? So it went from that scene to Jess was saying something like, I don't know, let's take care of this or whatever. But we left we left the bathroom because he didn't know that we seen him. And so anyway, whenever we left the bathroom, we heard a car start up, and the car was being stolen, and he had somehow got out. He left the house from underneath the bathroom, and went outside. He had two other people in the small car that he was stealing, and there was a truck, and I believe it was like a light baby blue older truck, and I don't know who was driving it, but somebody was obviously driving it. I don't know if anybody was in the passenger seat or in the middle there, but in the back of the truck were four dark-haired guys, like kind of scruffian looking guys, and not crackhead looking skinny dudes. I mean, they had weight on them, but they were dark. They all had dark hair and kind of thick, kind of like with some waves or curlies. You know what I mean? Not like Scott Curly, but not like Thermo Curly, but like, just like curled up or whatever. But and so Jess was like, he's still in your grandma's car. We need to do something about this. And I was like, you know what? Just let him go. Fuck it. Let him go. Let him have the car, And then, so he's like, I don't know about all that, So he went to run outside. Well, we both ran outside to kind of, chase the car. I mean, it wasn't like, you can go ahead and have them. Like, I just stayed in the house. But whenever we went outside, when we noticed that they were already, we saw them start up the car, and then by the time that we were getting outside, I guess, I don't know, the car that he stole had the two people in it, were in front, and the light blue truck was pulling up from the back, and so we were outside at that point. The dreams are kind of hard too, because it's not like it goes a step by step. You know what I mean? It kind of goes. How it happens for me is it goes in flashes, like if you were looking at a movie script, right? So it goes in sections. It'll go like flash or scenes. That's the word I was looking for. It goes in scenes. And so then the scene went from seeing him, the two people and the drivers, and then ripping out the fucking the streets or the wires or whatever, doing whatever it was that he was doing there. Because I could see clearly the people like, go, and then it went from outside, or, the other scene was like outside, and then the car, and then I heard what I assumed was Judy, or it was, I just assumed Judy in my mind, because I knew that that's who, he was with. Like, so whenever you say Jessa, I just associate, or Judy, I associate the two together, right? But it was, I don't know if that's who it was, but it was definitely his female. And we heard her coming down the road, like screaming and crying or whatever. And I was like, oh God, you need to go get to her. Go get to her. And he's like, oh God, yeah. And so, because it was like he came to help me, because that's what he was there for in the dream. But it was like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he was there, but he wasn't, you know how like a ghost would be there? Like that, but not in a dead ghost kind of way, I don't think. But I was questioning that in my mind, because I wake up in my dreams, right? So I'm aware that I'm dreaming, and then I'm obviously asking myself questions. I'm like, why? That don't make any sense, you know? Like, why is Jesso here? You know what I mean? Like, um, so anyway, he went to go after the female that was crying for him. She didn't say, like, I just knew that was for him, that it was his female. So yeah, I don't know what that was about, but that happened. I had that last night. Like, I woke up this morning to that one. Then I had this other dream that was a little weird. So, this woman, she was teaching me how to do something, and I was looking. We were in a living room, and it was very dark, like, right, and I just assumed that it was nighttime. And so she had stepped outside for something and wanted me to hurry up and come. And I was going to, but I was looking at her phone, re-looking at the video where she was showing me, or she like left her phone inside on the table, and I noticed it, and so I grabbed it and the video was so plain, I think is what it was, and then so I continued to watch it, and I was just so amazed at how well she had healed this person or helped this guy by doing something around his eye, like she touched something somewhere around in here or something, right? That's all I remember, and then it had done something to this male, and I was just so amazed by it. But as I'm amazed and I'm admiring her work, like her energy work or healing work or whatever, she hollers at me from outside, which is no big deal. And so I was trying to hurry, but then she was like, I know you're in there stealing or something. And I was like, what? All of a sudden, I had mad flew over me like nobody's business, right? And I went out that door, and of course it's dark outside, and so you can't really see anything. But I know that we were on a porch, obviously, or on a porch, because she had stepped down and then stepped up. So I'm assuming it was a porch, but anyway.